Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of Daniel's Horror Review. Sorry for my brief hiatus there for a little while. I just was kind of busy, couldn't get around to doing this as much as I was before. But on this review, I'm going to do the 2012 film VHS. VHS is a horror anthology with several different directors taking the helm at each different story in the film. And the film is pretty much about a group of misfits who run around and film all their hijinks and whatnot, like vandalizing buildings, running into parking garages and ripping chicks' tops down so we can see their titties and stuff. And so it's just a group of hoodlums running around filming what they do, and they're hired to break into a house and find a VHS tape. So when they get to said house to find the VHS tape, what they discover is a lot more VHS tapes, a lot of them, just piles and piles of them. And so they start going through each one and they watch each tape to see if they can find the one they're looking for. So obviously each little story is a different tape that they've watched. And it's all filmed in found footage. And I personally am not a big fan of found footage. I've never liked it. Didn't like The Blair Witch. I didn't like Cloverfield. I didn't like a lot of these found footage movies. Never cared for Paranormal Activity. I'm not a big fan of. I don't get it personally. I don't think they're scary. I don't actually believe that it's real. I think it's stupid. I never liked the style. I couldn't follow them real well. I never cared for it. With that said, I was pleasantly surprised with this movie, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I stayed entertained the entire time, even on some of the weaker stories, which there was one or two that just, like, I really didn't care for. They were made well enough that I stayed watching them, and I wasn't, like, zoning out of the story just because it was bad. I wanted to see what was going to happen in each and every one of them. But by the end of it, there was two that I could think of right now that were really weak. There were several that were really good, really good, and those definitely, in my opinion, make up for the weaker ones. That's the problem with a lot of these anthology movies you get to. You can have several different stories you pack in there, but if you have 5 or 6 stories and only 2 or 3 of them are good and the other ones suck, are those 2 or 3 good enough to make up for the other ones that suck? In this film, yes, they are. The good ones are more than enough to make up for the sucky ones. And this movie was made very well. I thought everybody did a real good job. They used several different directors for each segment. Like I mentioned previously, some like David Bruckner, who was one of the directors on The Signal, which I absolutely love. Ty West, who's done numerous horror films, House of the Devil, God, I can't think of any right now, but anyway, you probably know The Innkeepers. Jess Swanberg, who I think is more of an indie director. I think he's done stuff with the Duplass brothers and whatnot, but there's more directors, but these are the ones to me that names, I knew the names when I saw them and they stuck out more. But overall, everybody did a really good job. Overall, this is a really entertaining movie, and overall, I think you should check it out. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And if you're a big found footage fan, I think you're going to love it. If you're not so much a big found footage fan, I think you should check it out anyway. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised like I was. I hope you will be at least. And I think everyone should be entertained by this movie, and I want y'all to go out, rent it, check fucking Netflix for it. I don't care what you gotta do. Watch this movie. On that note, out.